This is the Cang Toys Mini Feromini. This is their take on, what was his name? Rampage. And this is part of their larger Predaking combiner set. And this video is definitely going to be a more chill video rather than my usual videos. I have a bigger video that I plan to put out this Saturday. So this video is definitely going to be a lot less edited. So if you want to watch it in 1.5 speed or something, I don't blame you. I encourage it, actually. This was also sent to me by the Shoji store. He's in there really well. I'm struggling over here. Why is this so tough to do? There we go. Oh, he is sharp. So this is a figure looking pretty good, I think. So we do get a sword as well as a blaster. And then on top of that, we get a hand for the Predaking combiner. It's not my preferred hand, but actually I'm not gonna make that joke. We'll take a better look at these later. Right now, let's just take a look at the figure. The figure itself is done very well, beautifully sculpted. The colors on here are all done like really great. I do love the panther or jaguar head he has on here. Do I look like I know my animals to you? It might be hard to see, but these figures tend to have this really nice coating to them that kind of help make them shine. So I always think that these figures are done pretty well. I do now have 5 out of 6 of these figures. I do need the last one to complete the Predaking combiner set. However, it seems like Cang Toys didn't give out samples for that, so the Shoji store wasn't able to give me a sample, so I could buy it if I wanted to. I'm not sure if I do though. So I'm kind of stuck with an incomplete Predaking, but I mean overall these figures are done incredibly well. Looks like he does have his tail sticking out at the back, and judging by the box art, I guess it just dangles down there. I guess we could tuck it up there if we wanted to, or bring it underneath there. No, that doesn't look right. We're just going to leave it there for now, and let's get straight into the head sculpt. So a pretty nice head sculpt. It is fairly basic. It does seem like we do have some light piping at the back in yellow. I do like the mouthpiece on this figure. Shoulders are done pretty well. The entire figure looks very similar in terms of aesthetics to the rest of the Cang Toy set. Arms are looking fairly good. Some nice detail over here for this part of the arms. Pretty tiny hands. We do get some nice little decals throughout the figure, but what I really want to talk about is this head sculpt over here. It is done incredibly well. I do like how the teeth are sculpted. The rest of the body is looking pretty good. The skirt pieces go all around. You get some more back here. The detail on the legs over here is done very well, I think, if we can take a closer look at that. And on this side, this is also done pretty well. The back does have a nice and clean look to it. And with the way these shoulder pieces are designed, they kind of seem like little thrusters that are up there, which I do think looks pretty cool. Coming back to the box art though, it is pretty standard, just like how the rest of their Cang Toy stuff is. Age 15 plus, because this is for older collectors. The box is always nice and shiny. The robot mode and alt mode over there. Flip it to the back, pretty much the same. Now onto this sword. It does look very good. We get some silver and gold. I'm pretty sure this also combines with the other weapons for Predaking's larger weapon. Now we can take a look at this blaster. It is also pretty good. It looks pretty similar to all the other blasters the other figures have come with, but we do get some nice gold and silver paint on there. And then finally, we do get a very nicely sculpted hand. I do like the way this looks. Luckily, these are not actually pointy, so you won't hurt yourself. But this hand is sculpted very well, and it has individual articulation, so that is good. In terms of articulation, we do get this up and down head movement. It is on a ball joint, so we can move it like side to side, and we should be able to rotate it. We can take these arms and bring them out there. We can rotate this from here, it seems. We get some bicep rotation and elbow bend. Don't know if these hands, yes, the hands can rotate. Let's see, waist rotation, we get that. These skirt pieces should be able to move, and we can move this forward, out to the side. Looks like it only goes back about right over there. Rotation and a knee bend. Foot is on a ball joint, so all that ball jointy movement. And this is very sharp. That did kind of hurt a little bit. I guess that's why this is for adult collectors. So yeah, the aesthetic of this is pretty good. They also have like larger versions of all these characters. That is pretty cool. Generally, I do like these figures, and Cang Toys is coming out with a larger combiner Dinobot set, which I personally think should have been their first set instead of their Predaking stuff, because the Dinobots are more well known. But this is done pretty well. I'm not going to show the transformation of this, but I am going to show his alt mode, so I will cut and come back to that. Here is the vehicle mode. Okay, here is the alt mode for, shit, what was his name again? I always forget. Rampage. There we go. It is pretty good looking. I do like the way it looks. What I don't like is the transformation, because it is kind of a pain in the ass. We basically have too many points of sort of waist articulation. So we kind of have this, and then we have like this one, but now we have a third one that's basically for the legs. It's such a pain to try to do, but this over here also can rotate independently, and it's very hard to show, but this part that attaches to the rest of the legs, you basically have to rotate that independently for the legs to face this orientation. The joint is very tight, and that kind of makes things a bit more complicated because you got to move a bunch of pieces out of the way and then things run into each other. On top of that, some of these pieces are just a little too sharp, making it a bit of a frustrating transformation. Now, while we do get a pretty neat looking like alt mode for this figure, if you're going to go for a Legends class figure, you should probably go for Legends class complexity for the transformation. But other than that, let's move on to the rest of the figure. So once again, a closer look at that head sculpt in his alt mode. It is done very well. I do like the jaggedy look of it. And once again, the teeth are nice. It looks like, yes, we can open the mouth, yeah, all the way over there, and as I'm doing that, this is digging into my hand, and you can kind of see that right over there. They definitely need to work on making these figures not as sharp, but we do get articulation like over here for the head, and we can rotate that. We can move this back and forth, rotate that. Pretty much the same stuff we did see in the robot mode, so it's not something too big to go over. We can move the tail as well, up and down. It's pretty standard stuff that I feel like I've gone over multiple times, but from underneath, it looks alright. From the top though, it does look pretty good. Once again, it is a very stylized version of Rampage. Some people may not be a fan of that. I personally am. Once again, I do apologize for a more laid back video. I'm going to an anime convention for some photography, and we'll have a regular video out on Saturday, so stick around for that.